This is Glow by Grace, a space where I do nails and say the things I think a lot of us feel, but don't always say out loud. Stay a while. There was a moment, I don't even remember exactly when it was, where I just stopped explaining, stopped justifying, stopped sending the long paragraph, trying to make someone understand where I was coming from. And honestly, it was one of the quietest, most freeing things I've ever done. But it took me a really long time to get there, because for most of my life, I thought explaining myself was just what you do. You make a decision, someone questions it. You explain. Someone misunderstands you. You clarify. Someone seems disappointed. You over-apologize and walk them through your entire thought process until they feel better. I thought that was just being a good person, being considerate, being someone who cares. What I didn't realize was I wasn't doing it because I cared. I was doing it because I was scared. Scared of being misread. Scared of being seen as selfish. Scared of someone thinking less of me. And the thing about constantly explaining yourself is that it puts you in this exhausting position where you're always on trial. Like you have to build a case for your own choices, your own feelings, your own life. Why aren't you coming to the event? Why did you set that boundary? Why are you pulling back? Why do you feel that way? And you find yourself constructing these elaborate answers, making sure every angle is covered, every possible misinterpretation is addressed. And even after all that, sometimes people still don't get it, or they don't want to get it, or they were never really asking because they wanted to understand. They were asking because they wanted you to change your answer. And that realization hit me kind of hard when I first had it. Because I think there are people in our lives who genuinely want to understand us. And those people, you don't even have to explain much to them. They ask because they're curious, not because they're challenging you. There's no defense needed. It's just a conversation. But then there are people who ask why, not to understand you, but to find the gap in your reasoning, to talk you out of it, to make you feel like you need their approval before your decision counts. And I spent so much energy trying to explain myself to that second group, trying to win them over, trying to get them to say, okay, that makes sense, you're allowed. And I finally had to ask myself, why do I need their permission? Why does my choice only feel valid when someone else signs off on it? I think for a lot of us, especially women, we're kind of conditioned to seek consensus, to not want to rock the boat, to soften everything with an explanation so people don't feel blindsided or upset. And look, context is real. Communication matters. I'm not saying go full silent and never talk to anyone. But there's a difference between choosing to share something because you want to and feeling like you have no choice but to explain yourself or face some kind of social consequence. One comes from openness, the other comes from fear. And I was operating from fear for a really long time without even knowing it. The shift for me was slow. It started with small things, not over explaining why I couldn't make it somewhere, not writing and rewriting a text message trying to make sure it landed perfectly, not following up and I can't do that with 5 sentences of justification, just saying the thing and letting it be enough. It felt uncomfortable at first, almost rude, like I was being cold or withholding. But then something interesting happened. The people who really mattered, they were fine. They didn't need the explanation. They trusted me. And if they had questions, they asked normally without an agenda. And the people who didn't like it, who pushed back or went quiet or suddenly had a problem with me, that told me something too. Your peace is not something you have to justify. Your boundaries don't come with a required explanation. Your no is a complete sentence. I know that sounds simple and maybe you've heard it before, but there's a difference between hearing it and actually feeling it land somewhere deep enough that you start living differently. I'm still working on it, honestly. There are still moments where I feel that old pull, where someone seems upset, and my first instinct is to fix it, to explain, to smooth it over. But I'm getting better at pausing, at asking myself, do I actually owe this person an explanation? Or am I just uncomfortable with the idea of them being unhappy with me? Those are two very different things. So if you're someone who's been carrying the weight of always making yourself understood, always making sure everyone around you is comfortable with your choices, I just want you to know that you're allowed to put that down. You don't have to earn your place in every room. You don't have to justify every decision. You don't have to make your life legible to people who were never really reading it with good intentions anyway. Some people will get you, and some people won't. If any of this resonated with you, save this video for the next time you need a reminder, and I'll see you in the next one.